It's your old pal, the Moo Cow, otherwise known as Paul A. Presenza, and I am here with...
Hi, I'm Lenore.
Hi, Lenore. How are you? And we're here with a big pile of stuffed animals, having just watched a shitty shark film called House Shark. Hi, Euclid. So, House Shark is from SRS Cinema, which means Ron Bonk and Company. And it's about a shark in a house.
That's really all there is to it.
That's pretty much it. So, you know, these kinds of movies, they're generally silly and bizarre and weird and funny and goofy. And this movie is very much similar to that. The only problem is, unfortunately, it's almost 2 hours long. And
so much of it is just talking.
it's so much talk, and the talk is not very funny, and the characters are not very funny.
And all of them are named after presidents.
Yeah, well, okay. Lenore, I know you love encapsulating. Can you possibly encapsulate what happens in House Shark for our wonderful audience?
A house appears in a shark and kills people. And then one of the people he kills happens to be an alcoholic who gets shot as it's being eaten and causes an explosion. That's the movie.
Surely there's much more than that.
No.
Okay, maybe not. There are some other bits and pieces too. There's a babysitter who gets et, which is the first thing that you know, first clue you know that there's a problem. And yeah, the house shark kind of comes in, and I guess it comes through the plumbing, and it takes over the house. And then the other three decide they're going to kill it. And they sort of can't.
Until the end.
Till the end. I think there is some reason why the one guy is, Zachary Taylor's pretending to be German. We kind of fast forwarded through the last third of the film because it was just too much. It was just too much yap about stuff that didn't matter. It wasn't funny and we didn't care. Frankly, the best part of the movie was the house shark itself. It was actually kind of fun. It was ridiculous but silly, and I enjoyed seeing the big giant life-size puppet mouth with 2 rows of teeth and 2 eyes, because of course it can't just be a regular shark. What did you think of the actual house shark itself?
I remember I kept being surprised that they went through the effort of sculpting an actual tail for it.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
It was a sort of silly-looking plastic puppet, but it was large, and they did pay a surprising amount of attention to detail, except for the fact that it had 4 eyes.
Yeah, I mean, the shark was cool. I enjoyed that. It was the best part of the film. I wish the house shark had been there more often and eaten more people. Yeah, as far as the main characters go, there's really not much to say. I just didn't really care for them, and I just didn't really care about them, and the attempts at humor were just belabored and not very good, which is unfortunate because with a lot of SRS cinema, this stuff tends to be purposely over the top and usually a lot of fun, and this one just wasn't as much fun as I had hoped, unfortunately. There were some good stuff. I mean, I don't know that the acting was particularly bad. I mean, obviously it's meant to be over the top and ridiculous. They certainly did their parts well. The problem is the characters themselves were very irritating. At least I thought so. What did you think about the characters?
They were just not good characters. Basically, the gimmick was they were named after presidents and acted nothing like the presidents they were named after.
Very true. The most irritating of all was probably the best actor, and that's the guy who played Abraham Lincoln. I think it was Abraham Lincoln. He stayed in character the entire time, the whole thing with needing to touch people's faces and talking like, I don't know what he was supposed to talk like. It was pretty darn ridiculous. The problem was that his character was so irritating. I couldn't stand to hear him anymore, and I had to fast forward through it. It's just, I couldn't do it. And then when they were singing, that was really painful. It was really bad.
Yeah, so I looked up Zachary Taylor. I thought maybe he was that one president whose native language was Dutch, but no, that was Van Buren, wasn't it?
Martin Van Buren, yeah, there you go.
But it turns out he was one of the shortest-lived presidents. He only lived for, I think, 18 months into his office, and then Millard Fillmore took over.
One of the side characters was the real estate guy. That was Ronald Reagan, I guess, because it's Reagan Real Estate.
Oh, and the dog was named Cheddar.
Cheddar? I thought it was Checkers.
Oh, Checkers.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
Checkers, which is the Nixon dog. And Reagan's secretary was named Nancy. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Then there was a very fake-looking Native American guy there who had force powers from Star Wars, so we're mixing Star Wars and Jaws in our homages here. That's problematic in and of itself. I mean, you expect kind of ridiculousness in shitty shark films, and usually they're fun. It's just, I think had they cut back on the film maybe a good half hour, I'd say at least, and shortened up some of the dialogues and tightened up some of the scenes and given them a little bit more, and definitely added more house shark into it and more kills.
Or actual humor.
Yeah, the actual humor would have been useful too.
Because, all of the humor in this is just derived from, well, farts mostly.
And sex and, ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Which, par for the course, I get it. But there was just too much of that and not enough house shark. Not enough action. If they'd shortened it by about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, I think it would have been a little bit more fun. It would have been a little tighter. Some of the things that went on were not quite as necessary, and I don't know, I think we might have enjoyed it a bit more. As I said, I can't fault any of the actors. I think they were all pretty good for what they had to do. They weren't given much by way of characters, so they played them very, very, very broadly.
Oh wait, there's also that one character who was just a statue.
Oh yeah.
Ulysses something Grant.
The Ulysses Bubbles Grant. So, yeah.
The only thing he did is he just stood there like a statue with his hands like claws. I think that might have been the most rewarding role in this movie.
I don't know, I think the little girl who came up and kicked the sheriff in the nuts and yelled at him because her parents got killed by the house shark in the original scene was probably my favorite scene, because that kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't expect that. That was a nice little touch. But much of the rest of it, did it entertain us for an hour and 52 minutes? This is one of the few movies I had to sit there and fast forward through. I generally never do that, and you see that. I mean, I make you sit and watch every little drop of most of these crappy films, and even I couldn't take it. It was just too much.
Yeah.
Too much unnecessary yap about stuff that I didn't care, and from people I didn't care about. I wanted to see the house shark. I wanted to see more deaths, more house shark.
Do you think with all the money they spent on that prop, they might have used it more?
It's possible. I mean, it may not have been very easy to manipulate. I'm not really sure.
But yeah, definitely the weak point of this movie was the people, the characters.
Yeah, a little better writing from, I guess it was Ron Bonk who wrote this. I'm not 100% sure. It wouldn't surprise me. He directed it, he did the digital effects. Digital effects were kind of interesting. At one point their whole thing is underwater, and that looked pretty good. And obviously the explosions are not going to look good, and some of the other things don't look very good. There's definitely some green screen stuff going on, but overall, for its micro budget kind of a film, that part didn't bother me at all. And as far as the direction goes, I thought it was not bad either. He had a good way of setting up scenes and framing things. I didn't really notice too many continuity errors. Everything was lit well. The production for its budget, I thought, was perfectly fine. Even the music was kind of cool. I didn't mind the music. I think the majority of the problem I had with this film was its length and with the weakness of the writing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, other folks might find it hysterical, so I recommend everyone kind of go out and either buy a copy, rent a copy, check it out online. I know you can stream it most likely. I know it's on the SRS website. Check it out. Humor is very difficult to pull off. What some people find hysterical is not something that everyone finds equally funny. So, to me, it was just a little bit belabored,
Yeah. Also, I have a question.
Sure.
Why did he use the names of famous presidents?
I think that was an example of humor.
But there's so many relatively unknown, forgotten presidents. Like Franklin Peters or Millard Fillmore.
That's true. That's true.
Those are really the only two.
But the thing is that I guess if they're that obscure, nobody's going to get the joke because they won't know who they are. So, the joke as it was. Anyway, typically SRS is pretty good about delivering the goods. In this case, in my opinion, not so much. I was a little disappointed. But scale of 1 to 10 as far as our stinkometer goes, I mean, I'm going to have to give this probably an 8.5. What about yourself?
Yeah, 8.5, 9.
9, yeah. I've seen worse. I've seen better, you know. So.
It's just, it was painful to sit through. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there were parts that were just a little dull. And we've always said that the cardinal sin of filmmaking is to be dull. So next time, more House Shark. Alright guys, I think that's about it for us. And this is our House Shark review for Indie Film Cafe, the COVID-19 quarantine version. Check back next week. Maybe we'll have another shitty shark movie for you. I hope so. Hopefully this is turning into a trend. And you never thing is about all these shark movies, you see one, it's bad, but there are plenty more that are much, much worse. And they just get worse and worse as it goes. So, gotta love it. So we will see you next time on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.